The tree of liberty has been thirsty for too long. I am the spark, the powder, the match, the shot that rang, the line in the patch. I am the night they tossed the tea, the oath they swore to die free. You can chain my hands, you can break my bones, but you'll never own my soul. I am the fire in the midnight sky, the reason tyrants die. I am 1776, lightning, thunder, iron, and grit. Every musket, every fist. I am 1776. Oh, 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 oh. I am 1776. I am the flag they tried to burn, the shot that made the empire turn. I am the rebel, the Minuteman, the ink that wrote we can. We hold these truths, hear my boots on the cobblestone, hear my war cry, shake the throne, hear my drum, you know it's near, your reign of fear ends here. I am 1776, lightning, thunder, iron, and grit, every musket, every fist. I am 1776. Oh, oh, I am 1776. Where are you?
There I am. I was playing peekaboo again. I had to find it with all the boxes down there. So good one.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a producer. Yeah, producing. You know.
Oh yeah, I'm producing a lot. That's why it took me a minute there. I got so much stuff for today. So
We all.
also,
That's what I said.
yeah. I don't know where Sean is. He's gonna be here soon, sometime. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and whip out a prayer. How's that? Then we'll get going. Yeah. Good. Huh?
Say with emotion now, please. Please say with emotion.
I second it.
So,
All right. What are you bumbling about? Okay. I love you, our Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. That's Psalm 18, 1 through 2. But then there's another part I want to add to it. My sheep hear my voice, says the Lord. I know them and they follow me. And that's John 10:27. So I think that's a little bit of direction for the left then. Maybe they should be following the Lord, I think. Amen.
They worship the devil. They ain't gonna follow nothing.
Yeah. I know. They're terrible.
Like the with the what are the things that were giving out? The Grammy Awards. What were they giving out the other day?
It was the Grammys.
Well, did you hear jerk off rabbit, baby rabbit there turn around and says, "No ice and God." He can't speak English.
Mm-hmm.
What God is he talking about? I think it's Satan. That's what
He's talking about Baphomet, the transvestite demon or whatever the hell that they worship. It's pretty sick too. It really is. And since you opened up with that, I want to go with Nicki Minaj because it all goes together. I don't do it.
So
You
much
know,
respect. So
oh,
much respect.
huh?
No, it's fine. Do what you want. You're the boss. You're the boss.
Let's get Sean. He's chewing.
Months after that, are you still convinced?
I got you with a mouthful. I
Show
was
him
doing
finish his booty calls. Hey, good muffin.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How do you? Well, how about well? Let's talk about Mitch McConnell. Then he's back in the hospital again.
He ain't gonna die. He ain't
Term
gonna-
limits. Term limits. Get rid of him.
Hospital Mitch.
They can't because there's a
Well,
Democratic
I gotta
governor
say,
that replace him.
Yeah, I know.
Come on, wake up.
We better all pray for Mitch McConnell's health right now, because the last thing we want to see is the Democrat governor replace Mitch with somebody else.
That's it. That's the thing. Yes, it is.
Am I frozen?
No, you're not frozen. You know, I'm just thinking maybe Mitch is going to go for a little ride in an electric car in his yard and find the pond. Remember when his sister-in-law did that? That's right. He's going to go for a little ride. I don't know. He looks like when they showed him yesterday, it looks like he's got Parkinson's. If you watch him, because he keeps tripping over and over. Well, they'll do that with Parkinson's, but it's like he'll be talking and then all of a sudden he's someplace else, and they hallucinate when they have Parkinson's. That's why I think that's what he's got, because he'll be okay and be lucid for a while, and then he's tripping and not knowing where the hell he's at. If anybody has a comment.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely there's something wrong with him.
Yeah, well, there's something wrong with a lot of them. They said before, the Capitol Hill pharmacist said that if you knew how many were on Alzheimer's drugs and antipsychotics, it would freak you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just look at their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Look at their eyes, like our friend Watermelon Head. He's on some heavy stuff.
The man case said death is no reason to give up a Senate seat. That's about right too. They were wheeling Dianne Feinstein all over.
That was what's her name's motto out in California. What the heck was her name? Feinstein.
Yep.
Yeah, Frankenstein. Yep.
That was her motto. Yeah, that was her motto.
She was rolled in. She was rolled in just to vote. Remember, they had to do a vote, and they rolled her the hell in.
That's right. They're saying the Capitol Hill nursing home. Capitol Hill is the adult developmentally disabled daycare. That's what I think it is. All the people up there. Did you see like Lindsey Graham yesterday when he was in the office with Trump?
Give me up.
And he was going, you should listen to me and blah, 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 blah. It's like, who the hell put the Energizer Bunny in him? All of a sudden now he knows what he's doing and everything. There's something wrong with him too.
So, did you hear? We didn't talk about this, I don't think. Did you hear the story about Joe Biden's ex-husband killed his wife?
Oh yeah, about that one. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
killed his wife.
He's just a couple decades too late. He's a couple decades too late.
Killed his wife. Yeah,
shame he didn't come over to Joe's house. No, I'm only kidding.
I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised that maybe the Biden administration or somebody of a hitman did that, set him up. You never know.
Maybe. You never know. You never know.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of weird, I think. I mean, why now? You know, he's been married to that woman for so many years and everything. And everybody said it surprised them. So, you know, what kind of...
Good morning, everybody.
What was going on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know with them. Now, the Clintons said they're finally going to come out and say a few words. She's going to talk at the mic.
There's going to be a lot of. I don't recalls, or you know, I don't remember that.
Oh, you mean to wipe you want to wipe the tape off with the cloth? Is that what you're talking about?
Or what? What does it matter at this point?
Yeah, what difference does it make?
Yeah, what difference does it make? Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah, that's what she'll say. Yeah. So, is that going to be televised? Do we know about?
They said it's supposed to be. It's going to be on C-SPAN. It'll be on C-SPAN if it's not on.
I think it's the end of the month. I think it's Thursday and Friday, the end of the month, I believe.
Yeah,
I
got a
can
feeling
see a really good Saturday Night Live skit out of that one.
something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. History. Something's gonna happen.
Well, something always happens. Just hopefully there's something that we want to happen, right?
No,
You know, nothing happens. Something.
no, I'm saying it's gonna be like a distraction. Everything else. It just.
Oh, well, that's
You know, somebody.
that happens a lot.
Wow, look at this. How come there's so many times?
I'm
happens a lot.
well, I'm they said closed door hearings, but I don't know. Yeah, under the advice of my attorney, I cannot answer. They're going to be pleading the fifth left and right because boy, they're going to incriminate themselves bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's going to be a big nothing. They're just going because now they won't be held in contempt.
Mm-hmm.
It's all going to be a circus.
I always say it's a horse and pony show, but it's not really a horse and pony show. It's I don't know, smoke and mirrors, a dog and pony, whatever it is.
I say, not my circus, not my monkeys.
What would be if you had to ask a question? If you were in that committee, you were going to ask a question, and maybe put this out to the chat too. What would be your question that you would ask? You know what mine would be? I think I'd hold up that picture of Bill with the blue dress. I'd hold it up. I'd say, President Clinton, this is interesting. Could you share with us how this happened? And did you ever put that dress on? You know, and see what he says.
You know the song, Devil with the Blue Dress, Blue Dress, Blue Dress, Devil with the Blue Dress.
Yeah.
Hey, that's it. Yeah. Listen, I think it's, what do you call it? A good idea if we send out little prayers for the people in Iran because I heard from reliable source, it's almost over 50,000 people that they have killed. Besides, I brought this up yesterday. So this is here's a video. Let me see if I find it.
Okay, and then I'll go back to Nicki Minaj when we're done.
Yeah, all right. Just put this up. I mean,
all of the talking at the Grammys the other night. Not one of those.
Say anything about Iran?
Nothing about the killing over there, huh?
No, yeah, about the Iran. They didn't say nothing about. They also, yeah. You want to play that there? They didn't say nothing about these people either. This is the streets in Iran. If you notice, who said he said that regime is going to change soon. I think it's going to happen. It's done. I think the deal that Trump is making is to get him out of there. You know, and then like you were talking about the Grammys. I know we're jumping around here, but you know the Grammys didn't mention. You know, they wore that thing about ICE and all that stuff, but nobody brought this up. You know, which is a control border. Border control.
What?
Put this picture up. What?
I got like 10 of them down here. Did you put a new one up?
I just put the one up with the people on it killed by that. Yeah, this one here.
Okay.
They didn't mention none of this, right? All those stars and singers and everything else. All of them were raped and killed by illegal aliens, courtesy of the Democratic Party. So, F off with all your selection and outrage. Where are the protesters for them? You disgusting hypocrites. Which is right to the point. This is unbelievable. Look how many people, and there's more. They just shoved them so close together. But they didn't say that. They didn't mention Riley. Riley is the biggest name out there about the whole thing about hugging.
Lincoln Riley, yes. Yeah. It's that's something.
Well, then how about that?
Good point. This is excellent. The irony is unreal, calling the right Gestapos while organized whistle-carrying observers straight out of World War II Germany youth playbook. And that's what they're doing. They're blowing these things. You know, there's a lot of things that they call us, that they're tagging us with, is exactly what they're doing.
Yep.
Well, that's what's so funny when they call the right Nazis, and you know the Nazis were socialists, right?
Democratic socialists they were. He claimed that's what he claimed to be. Hitler. They claimed to be A Democratic.
That's why they hate history.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was pretty right on the mark. I
Oh,
mean,
no, 100%.
it's exactly what they're doing. They took it right out of the Nazi playbook.
You gotta send me this photo. I want this photo.
I sent it to you before the show started.
I just asked you a question.
I did.
I didn't look. Let me look. Hold on, everybody. I have to look at my text because we have a show, so I have to see that she sent me the text and everything else. Hold on, let's see.
Oh my God.
No, I did not receive it.
Did you look in your text messages?
You see what I got right here? Right there. It's not there.
Be careful.
Write to me again.
No, I could have swore I did. Hang on.
You sound like Augie when he's right away.
I didn't send you the dog. Oh, I didn't hit the arrow button. It was still there.
We're playing Stevie Wonder again.
No, now look at your
Look what
phone.
it says. Tracy sends you an attachment just this minute.
Amazing, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
Amazing. It's amazing. Where'd
Hold
Sean?
on. Jen just said she was at a town meeting last night. Someone, liberal dog, whistled to get attention, and I swear I had a reaction. Hey, no whistles here, right? Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Sean lost his feed again. I'll watch for him to pop in. But anyway, so you want to yesterday? Well, actually, all this week, Nicki Minaj has been posting stuff up on Twitter, and I'm trying to find the first one. Can't sit this. Nope, this one here. Your favorite artist has been practicing rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and kill them as a form of a blood sacrifice to their god. You see, when your master is Satan, you must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up. So she's putting all this stuff up. I'm gonna show you a couple more of these tweets because she's putting herself out on a limb with all this shit. She's going after Jay-Z, and I don't think she'd be doing this unless she had inside information, because if she is, I mean, they're gonna kill her for this stuff. She's exposing a lot of stuff, and she wouldn't be doing it unless she knew for sure. But this one, are y'all understanding that these people have been sacrificing children as a way of gaining and maintaining power? If you ever vote Democrat again, you're just as soulless as they are and will perish. Maybe it's time for me to do some story time, since I was trying not to say, and she said, it says show more, but saying show what she knows. Well, the thing is, those people have enough money that if she was lying, they would sue the pants off of her. And she's been doing this all week, and they're not doing anything. So that they're guilty as hell, because if they weren't, they would turn around and do something about it. But what's her name? Beyonce. Look at that. She was 16 when he was 27. There's him with his other girlfriend too, that was 15. There's some real bad stuff about Jay-Z and Beyonce, and you guys all know about the sacrificing stuff. But here's another one. She's basically calling him Trevor, and saying that, because that's his real name, and that he won't come out of the closet. And she's saying that he's gay too. So there's quite a bit of stuff she's putting out there. I mean, I'd be afraid if I was.
Let's read Bob, but the name's not Bob. It's Bob. Yep. Bob.
Yeah, where's that other
one? The whole thing is that she came out with this. The whole thing is Goodell. Getting back to, I don't know where you want to start. There's so much shit out there. Well, Goodell, the one that's in charge of the NFL.
You want me to finish up with the Nikki?
Yeah. Do that first. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's the wrong one. Hold on.
Oh, that's all right. That was it though. It's just Scott Bessent and her doing bees in the trap. That one.
Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. I did the wrong one. Here it goes. It's a message on this one. I apologize. You can play that one.
Yeah, I'm looking here. Yeah, that's what she's saying. She's saying they don't, no matter what anybody says about her, she's spreading out the truth. And that's why she came out with that thing. I can't believe I was laughing about the Secretary of Treasury.
That was funny that I was there.
Yeah, and the Nicki Minaj, follow her because this is just a couple that she's put out this week. She's put out a whole bunch of stuff, and she's naming names on everything, like saying Chris. Was it this one? Yeah, Chrissy Teigen has a dick allegedly. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that she's putting out, and she ain't going to put that out unless she's positive of that stuff. That's all I can say.
Mhm.
But how about this one? Did you? We were talking about Ed Martin. Everybody was saying was up in arms because he was. No, it's not AI. That was real. That he was getting fired and everything. But look what he put out on Twitter yesterday or X. Ed just posted that could be bigger news coming. And he posted a picture of himself with Trump. So, like we were talking about, that's got to be a lateral move. It's not that he got fired. He's doing something else. Probably, and it's probably something directly for Trump if he's over there showing that picture.
I think it's about the elections.
Well, I hope so. I hope it's about the elections. For Sean, he can't get back on.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I know people are talking in here in the chat. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff with Nicki Minaj. Man, she really flipped around from being a Democrat sycophant to turning around and being a MAGA chick now, which is really great. But that isn't AI. That was really Nicki Minaj and Basant. Yeah, they were
He was
asking.
happy to do it too. He said he was happy to do it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think it's funny because it means, but even with Besant, that could be a message with him too, not just her. They're coming after everybody, which I think is great.
Hey, we can't forget what do you call? Let's see what. Oh, the event. What the hell? The Super Bowl. Did we talk about that, Buddy Rabbit?
No, go ahead.
Mr. Buddy Rabbit. Hold on a second. Remember when he closed out? The guy can't. Number one, he can't speak English. That's the first thing. So he turned around and said, "No ice and God." We're trying to figure out who his God is because for some reason I don't think it's the one we believe in. But Goodell, who is in charge of the NFL, is the one defending the whole thing. Which my opinion of him, he's a piece of garbage. Because remember, a long time ago when they did this, the football players were allowed to put Black Lives Matter on their shoes in the back of their head, sneakers.
Mhm.
And then when the guy wanted to wear the socks with the cops on it, they stopped him and fined him, the players, because they said no, they can't do that. So that's where his mentality is. And what he said, the statement that Goodell said was that the halftime will bring people together.
Yeah, right.
It's going to bring people together to do this one. Let me explain.
I need people together to eat chicken wings is all it's going to do.
Yeah, this one here. They're going to bring. This is what it's going to do. It's going to bring people together to do this one at halftime. At halftime, you can watch Turning Point USA, and there's going to be Chris Rock, and a whole bunch of other all country stars and everything else entertaining us for the halftime, which I think everybody should tune out and go. I don't watch football because
see, now I saw a different one where it was going to be Dolly Parton and Reba McEntire.
Well, this is the younger part. I didn't get that. Dolly Parton's going to be on. All the ones that you said, they'll be on there. But I'm just saying, this is one of the flyers that came out. So I grabbed this one. I didn't grab the other one. There's supposed to be a bunch of people out there. This is the one that started. So there's one with what do you call the Bobby went to Nashville. What was that?
Oh, Jason Aldean.
No, him and the other guy. The other
John
one.
Rich.
Yeah, John Rich. So they're supposed to be. They're taking it. It's good they're taking this to an issue, which is very important. And I just hope not the halftime and everything else. I mean, I don't think they put commercials on, but I think this would send a message that they'll lose the rating between that time or the halftime and stuff. So
Yeah. Do they play the Puppy Bowl during halftime too?
Yep.
All right.
So, but before I think
hope
they
everybody
did,
turns their TVs off during this time.
well, everybody should turn to this.
Well, yeah, but it's not. The thing is, if they have the TVs on, they're still getting the rating. I think everybody should put their TV on CNN for God's sakes during the halftime. If whatever, it doesn't matter. Just make sure it's not on the same station as Super Bowl.
Shut down the channel.
Yeah,
and then go to it. That's a good idea.
Yep. Yeah, and then obviously this is going to be streamed on X. I know Jack Posovic's going to stream it on his Twitter handle. Turning Point will have it on theirs. So there's going to be a lot of people. I'm sure Betty Johnson will have it on his. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to have it. So
yeah, if you're not going to do that, suck down some chicken wings during halftime.
There you go.
But
this has got better music.
In a rum bucket.
Yeah, but this has got a lot better music on this show than anything else. Then there's even talk about Nicki Minaj. There's talk about maybe they were trying to get her to perform in this.
I think she would do it just for spite. Okay.
Yep.
I hope so because you know what? So many people are following her now because she went MAGA. I think it'd be a really good thing if she came on like during halftime or something.
Yeah, but I just want to say I see in the chat MK Hart said good point. I'll make sure I tell my family turn TV off. It's not turning TV off. It's changing the channel.
Yes.
Change the channel because the cable box may still have that signal from that channel coming through or whatever. So change the channel. Put on CNN for God's sake. Doesn't matter. Put on anything, but just have the channel changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know Mark is saying he can't pay me to watch the damn game. Well, I'm going to watch the damn game because I like watching all the freaking commercials. I think they're hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch halftime.
I'm a football fan, so I'll be watching it, but I won't be halftime. I know I'll be on Rumble. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
I think the what do you call is going to be on this. I think the football game is going to be on Rumble too.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, very interesting.
So in New Jersey, they still got the damn paper straws, and it's all allowed. Unbelievable.
So the taxes are going up in Jersey, huh? She's doing a pretty good job. The Democratic
taxes, energy. She was going to stop the energy rise and prices.
What she said, I'm going to cut the bill to 50% or something like that. I remember she said that.
Stop. Yeah, the same policies that got us high electric bills. They're gonna keep, right? They're not going to change. And idiots vote. So we got exactly what we voted for. Well, I always say maybe not. Maybe we did vote the other way. Maybe they just cheated. So hopefully that gets uncovered too with all this.
Talk about cheating with the voting. What about you see all the Democratic senators and congressmen defending Georgia with Fulton, all the ones that are in that area? They all came out.
They're panicking. They're panicking, George. They're panicking. That's for sure. This is going to get even Dan Bongino said the other day there's going to be some stuff coming out on Georgia. So I think and listen to Cash Patel, they had specific evidence, and that's why they were granted that the court order to be able to go do that. So they know what they're looking for, and I think we'll see some people go to jail on that for sure.
Yeah, that's what the Audie Bull says about the New Virginia governor too. She's out of her mind. You see how freaky she looks? She looks very dangerous. And then the lieutenant governor is Muslim. She swore on the Quran. No respect to the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it shows you, and the New Jersey governor, she didn't even swear on the Bible. She swore on the New Jersey Constitution. So what's that tell you? They love government more than God.
True.
Right. So it's in Virginia too. They got a bag of tricks with that new governor too.
It's We like this guy. Some people don't like him, but I think he's part of that Freedom Caucus too. And
What guy? Who are you talking about?
Tim Burchett.
Oh, Tim Burke. Yeah, yes, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
We got a little
Love
thing
him.
here.
Yeah, and I want to say something about the electric bills, though. That's not just going on in New Jersey. That's going on all the way across the country. I don't know if your state did it, but look at your state. A lot of like ours did. The Regulatory Commission made it law that they can charge all their customers for all the infrastructure upgrades. So even if it goes to nuclear or anything like that, if Trump doesn't make a national moratorium on it, then all the consumers are going to be paying for all the upgrades to the grid.
Oh yeah,
It
absolutely.
added the delivery charges like on ours just
That's
went
about
like
right.
two to three times the amount of gas you use.
That gets
And
me
the
a delivery charge.
Huh?
The delivery charge is the best. The whole thing is the gas is being pumped at every spot that the gas is constantly flowing in those pipes. There's no interrupt to say, okay, here's Trixie's house. Oh, we send gas there. Oh, let's charge it for delivery charge. The gas is there, even the electric. When I was up in New York, Con Edison all of a sudden decided to charge a delivery charge.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Why are you trying to? Why you got the wire from the pole?" I said, "Listen, I'm an electrician. I'll take the wire off, put my own wire from the pole to the house." Oh, you can't do that. What do you mean I can't do it? You're telling me you're charging me delivery charge for electricity, which electricity is constantly flowing. I don't know who you're trying to bullshit, but they charged was $150 just to deliver the electric.
Well, you know how they're doing it here. They got away with a 16% increase on per therm on your gas and then per kilowatt hour on your electric. And then because it was limited to 16%, and they shut down the coal plant in Wheatfield, but then they let Amazon data centers come in. So their building is 400 acres is the size of the building that they're putting up. Well, the infrastructure don't hold it. So what they did is they went, and because delivery fees kind of encompass their operating costs or whatever, that's where they socked it to everybody. And they didn't tell anybody they were doing it. You just all of a sudden got one hell of a bill. And they said, oh, no, it's because you're using more gas or more electricity. Well, bullshit, because people are going back from the year before and they're using the same amount of electricity or gas. And then their bills are 2 and 3 times higher. Like I said yesterday, there was a church that got their normal bill was like 300 and some bucks. And it came into, was it like $1,200 or $1,500 or something like that. It was absolutely ridiculous what they're paying. But all these senior citizens can't afford it. And they don't give a shit. And they're going around and they're shutting everything off. So if you got to check in your state whether you have a shut off thing until March or not, because if you don't, they're like here, you're 2 or 3 days late on your past due balance. They don't even come out to shut you off anymore. They do it electronically. So there's nothing you can do
That's
about
why
it.
they put those meters in. Yep, they put those. Oh, the electronic meters are to save electricity. That's why we have to put them in because it's just more digital, and then the guys don't have to come out to read it. And then they go like, gone.
It's bad. I think it's horrible what they're doing, and people can't afford it. So what are you supposed to do? Home
Here's the
free?
best one. Here's some best. Listen to this one. When I moved here down in beautiful Florida, that's fucking cold. I put a well in. The well in cost me $5,000. Went 350 feet deep. So now the sprinklers are going off, right? Well, okay, went into the ground 350 feet, right? Into the water down here. And the sprinklers went on, and the town drove by, and they gave me a fine for $150 for having my sprinklers on. So I said, that's amazing. So they go, so I get the bill, the $150 thing fine they gave me, and I went to the town. I said, yo, let me explain something. I got a well. Here's the paperwork of the well. That's where my sprinklers running off it. You know what they turned around and told me? They own the aquifer. The water's going like this under. Their stream is constantly under. I went 350 feet deep. I didn't do 100.
They said they own it.
They own the aquifer.
Crazy.
So now I put the sprinkler around at night. And they came by. They had drones one night coming by. They're checking everybody's lawn to see whose sprinklers are on. I shot one.
You know what they don't tell you about those new meters too? That there's batteries in them. And so if you could be sitting home and all of a sudden your power goes off, it's because the battery went off on your meter too, and they're not telling anybody that. And NIPSCO here by us, they've been sued, I think, 6 different times for deception with their billing practices and everything. They came out and said now that they know there's a not a significant number, but there is a significant number that are reading totally wrong. Like if one lady had the meter outside of her apartment and there was a donut shop underneath her, and they were billing her for the donut shop because that meter sends out feelers every 15 minutes or every 15 seconds. I can't remember which one, but because it goes around your neighborhood, it reads everybody else's too, and they're getting in wrong readings, and they didn't bother to tell anybody that. And so people were paying the like $1,200-$1,500 electric bills, and they weren't even theirs.
Wow.
Yeah, and all they'll do is give you a credit on your bill. They won't give you the cash back.
Oh, of course not. What are you kidding? Why would they do that?
I know. I don't know. I think they should be fined like big time. The last lawsuits though, they got fined. So you really they're just awful. I don't even know. I don't have enough words to say how awful they are. But it's picking up. CNN did a story already. NBC did. So the more people that bitch about it, you gotta bring it up and get the news on it and shame the politicians for allowing this to go on. They should do something at
you know what? Once the thing is passed, they cannot reverse it.
Oh, ours can, because it's the regulatory commission that did it. It wasn't a law. They just codified it after that. But if Trump can override it by like he said, making them all responsible for generating their own power, they need to, because people aren't going to be able to afford to stay in their homes. And that's what I was thinking is, I said yesterday, the way they're building them here, it follows straight down the river from Lake Michigan. And it's almost like they're trying to force everybody out of their property to take that over for data centers, so they have the access to all that water.
They could do that, the eminence domain, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's what I think they're doing. But by the time of forcing you out of your house because you can't afford the heat, your property value is already going to be shit. Nobody's going to buy it if NIPSCO does that. So that would be a way to get by cheap on eminent domain, paying people for the property too. You're not going to get regular value.
What's worse, the power companies or the pharmaceutical industry?
Pharmaceutical, because that's a death.
And the best thing is they
both of them are bad, right? I mean, obviously.
They what do you call these plants, these power plants, right? Some are run by gas. Ours was nuclear. The nuclear is so much cheaper because it's just easy maintenance.
And cleaner too. And cleaner.
And yeah, well they said it was going to be too much money to fix the nuclear plant, so they went with gas, natural gas. Because we used to get money from the electric company.
Can you hear the sirens?
Yeah, they're coming.
I thought it was me and I hit the wrong button.
No, I'm about 10 miles from, maybe 5 miles from beautiful Newark Airport. Coming alive from beautiful Newark, New Jersey.
I didn't think Newark was there.
Every minute the check comes in.
I didn't like it.
No, that's not
Anyway.
Not the apple of the eye, so to say.
Hey, you want to play Tim? Since
yes, I will play Tim. Here you go. Here's Tim. Tiny Tim.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett. I don't know if y'all been watching the news or not. What's going on in Washington in our Senate? Mike Lee and Rick Scott have been doing great work trying to stop a bunch of crazy funding. One thing is some outfit, I think it's out of Africa, that we're funding, that the organization's chairman or leaderships has said, please don't send us any more dadgum money. We're stealing. It is corrupt. It needs to stop. And you can't even get the Republican-controlled Senate to back him on that. Why? Oh, we're not going to get our stuff funded if we don't. And the same thing in the House. We're trying to pass the SAVE Act. We talked about Fordship Roy out of Texas. Mike Lee, the Senate sponsor, just says you got to be an American citizen to vote. You got to show an ID. You got to do that to buy a 6-pack of beer, for goodness sakes. Fly on an airplane. Tomorrow I'll fly. I'll know every TSA agent. I know their families. I grew up with some of them. And guess what? I show a dadgum ID when I fly. It's just that simple. And why won't we attach that to something and make them do it? Why? Because we're complacent and we get our funding for our stuff and we don't want to rock the boat. Well, that boat has sailed, folks. We need to be flagrant boat rockers from here on out. This is what really frustrates me about our leadership, how we play ball. And the Democrats never do. They just stick together and vote for a bunch of garbage, and the liberal media lets them do it. And they never call them into question. We got to do better, folks. We got to do better. Pay attention to what's going on this week. This week, there's going to be a lot of infighting and a lot of finger pointing and, oh, you're going to shut the government down. We're not going to get our stuff is what it amounts to. We're not going to get our stuff. And we're throwing our backs out of whack by trying to pat ourselves on the back, telling y'all how great a job we're doing. Our messaging stinks. The best friend the Democrats have right now is the Republican messaging. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. And we're allowing it to happen. And we're going to lose our country. We're flat out going to lose it. And that's what this bunch wants. They want this woke-utopia. They want all the distractions. They want all the riots. And nobody's enforcing the law. That's what they want.
He's right. He's 100% right. I mean, look at Minnesota with all the obviously about the corruption, but all this protesting, right? ICE protesting. I mean, we showed videos yesterday. They're shutting down streets, barricading streets to check people's stuff, and we allow it. The cops should go in, and the local cops are subject to the mayor and everybody else. But it's pathetic. I mean, that shouldn't even be allowed.
The thing is, that's most important, especially what you said, but each bill should be approached separately, not put them all together.
Yeah.
Who wants this? Who wants that? Who wants that? And Matt told me that 9 years ago about how they do it and how they all getting the funding. They all told him. They said when he came in as a freshman, turned around and said, "Yo, just sit back. You'll make a lot of money, and everything else. You'll see how everything the game is played here." And they walk around and tell you who's getting money from where.
Oh, line item veto too. They should have a line item veto too on the bills. They took that out, and when they used to have that, they were able to get rid of those amendments. And they should still have that.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you got that jerk off Lindsey Graham at President Trump's Oval Office screaming about blah blah blah. He wanted to show because he's running again, so he's coming out like, and he's 4 times he voted against what Trump wanted. So I don't know why he defends. I have no idea. I hope when he endorses people, it's not going to be the rhinos again. That's what I hope. I hope to God when he does his rallies and stuff like that, the endorsements and everything. They got people that because I live in Florida, since I know so much. The thing is in Florida, all right, they hate Trump so much, okay, which they do. Everything but everybody else, how great the state is, it's a red state, and we do this. But they hate Trump so much that now I'm gonna see if I can get him on the show. But Byron Donald's case about what he did and all this stuff. The only thing I know is I tell everybody I endorsed him because his voting record is been protecting Florida, and his voting record is a 92% constitutional every time he votes. That's the guy I want.
And it would probably be 100% constitutional if they didn't pack all kind of crazy shit into these bills, as we were talking about, right? If you had, it would be real simple if the bill was one thing and no, what they call it, pork, right? It was no pork in there and all that stuff. It'd be really simple to see where people's votes are.
Well, look how fucked up Obamacare is, right? Oh, we have to pass it before we see what's in it. That's what Pelosi said. Remember? Mm-hmm. That's why Obamacare.
No, she was just saying that because she was in a rush to get to the bar.
Yeah,
she was happy.
Yeah, but their aides are the ones that when they do the markups on those bills, most of the people don't pay attention to what's in there. I'm talking about the congressional representatives. The aides are the ones, and then the special interest groups. I used to do markups on healthcare bills, so I know what they do, and they can slide anything they want in there. And usually, one congressional person will have they'll have, like, let's say they have 10 aides. Each aide takes a section of that bill and goes through that bill with a fine-tooth comb. That's how they're supposed to do it. So, and then they give the congressional leader or whoever it is a synopsis of what was in that bill. But they're not doing that anymore. I don't know if they cut back on aides or how they're doing it, but I think maybe it's more lobbyists doing all of it now. I know with pharmaceuticals that's true. I can't say anything though.
It could be.
Well, that's how that shit gets in there, because nothing ever benefits us. It always benefits either the government or the business. It never benefits the people. You never see that.
Yep.
We just have to watch that. These are the people that are coming out to attack MAGA. I think this is a pretty good photo to put up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're ready?
Yeah, that's gonna be something.
Yeah, she didn't even got the thing on right. They got the wrong size besides, because it's supposed to cover more on your side of your sides by your arms there.
And so, you know what's surprising me? That they got a Star of David on them if they're up for a battle with MAGA, because the Democrats are.
It's very surprising. Absolutely, it's very surprising.
Mm-hmm.
You would think they would have. You would think they would have an upside down United States flag.
Is that a pat? Is that a
Palestinian flag?
Oh, those are the ones that stick on. They got Velcro on the back. That's not. They got little Velcro spots on there where you can put the things on there.
Yeah.
Like that's got a Velcro. The Jewish star's got.
I'm surprised it's not a UN flag.
I think it's funny. I'm surprised she doesn't have a mustache.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of a mustache.
See, that's like that guy in the bar. Remember what I told you about that story about the bar? The guy's sitting in the bar and he's drinking and he's looking in his shirt pocket and he's drinking and going to his shirt pocket and drinking. And the bartender says, "Let me ask you a question. Every time you take a shot, you look in your pocket of your shirt." He said, "What's that for?" He said, "Well, when she looks good, I go home." That's the type of person.
That's funny. I think that's funny. I like it. So, you guys ready for a Wormhole Wednesday?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So I'm gonna have to stop it. So I, through the thing.
Oh, just do it. Stop. We got to explain everything. Just do it.
Because I explained it for you, George. Some people need a little bit of extra.
No, you have to pay for that one.
you stepped right into that one.
Things are about to get wiggly. See ya on the flip squirm.
Whoops.
That's it?
No, that's not it. I've got to stop it.
That was good.
The worm wasn't on there long enough.
Next week, we're actually see the actual worm tunnel.
I forgot where the stop was. Okay, so I want to talk about Tartaria. So Tartaria supposedly was, well, it was. You can see where it's at on this map. This map is like it says 1754, and there's other maps that are in here. But it was a whole region that took over part of Russia, part of China, so Eurasia. And these people were super, super advanced.
Hey, up Eurasia.
Yep. Eurasia. They were really super tall, real tall people. And they used a lot of the things they used supposedly is like they took ether for electricity from the air. They were super tall. They said some of them had a second row of teeth on them, which would take you back to the Nephilim. So this is where it kind of gets crazy. But the whole thing is all these buildings that you see, like the ones that are real hard. Let me just go here. A real hard red brick. So you can see this is all different timelines in the map, and it shows Tartaria on there. And there's even United States, and it shows it. And I'll get to why it shows up in the United States. Okay, that red building, this is what I'm talking about. Supposedly, when you see all these red buildings, these are Tartarian buildings. So during that time, these were built. This is in Saginaw, Michigan. They use that real red brick. When you look at them, they don't say built in, it says founded in. So what the supposition is that all these buildings have always been here, and we just took them over and refurbed them up and everything and are using them. And you can see these kind of buildings all across the United States. You see them over in Europe. And so there's truth to it. Now, Russia knew all about Tartaria, and they're the biggest proponents of it. Well, let me keep going here. I wanted to show that for an example. Okay, see that? This was one of them, and you can see, like here's Russia. When you look at the top picture, they're digging stuff out. They're not building anything. They're digging it out. And when you look at the bottom, you can see where the level is on the street and everything. So these were not in the process of being built at all. They were actually they were digging them up. There's now this one. Now they said, okay, that's a good question. See how these spirals.
I know what that is. I know what that is.
Okay, so all these spirals on the churches, there's copper that runs through those spirals and goes down into the ground. They've always said it's for lightning rods. It's not. What they were able to do is take the energy out of the air, harness the energy, and it would go down into the copper, and it would go through, and it would actually light things up. There's pictures and everything if you go look up, like in the 1700s where streets were lit up. And they don't tell you any of that in history, but you were able to get energy free from the air. Electricity, basically. And I've seen a lot of different science experiments too, where they prove it, where you can actually do that, where you generate it from the air.
That's what Tesla did.
And you can see I got several examples, like all these spirals going up. Now this is in Chicago. Now what does that look like to you?
A chair.
Exactly. Why?
Do I get a prize?
A big chair.
Mm-hmm. Supposedly, like when you see all these old cathedrals and everything, you know how big the doors are and everything. Those aren't made for like normal humans. Now, this is saying this just happens to look like a chair. I don't believe it was an actual chair, but it, some people do.
Some big ass was sitting in that one.
But see, these are all the things that would take energy from the. Look at this one. There's no way somebody built that in the 1400s. It's impossible. They didn't have the tooling to do that. I mean, look at it. Now that's Chicago. This is supposedly in 1873. This is supposed to be Chicago on the top. And this is what it looks like in 2024. You tell me these buildings were all there, that they built that in 1837. No way. I can't see how they could have. Look at that's the Chicago Tribune building, I think, right here. And look at the detail on that. How do you think they did that without power tools and everything? I don't know. This is why we're going down the rabbit hole.
George's got a construction background. He'd be a good one to answer that.
Yep.
But
A lot of these buildings they were called the stuff that Saudi's You asked me a question, I give you an answer. Terracotta.
Right. Go ahead, and then I'll finish up.
It wasn't concrete. They used terracotta, which is based on sand. And the reason why I know, when they drilled holes through the floor, I drilled through the top because the top was covered with cement. And then when I broke through, after the ceiling came down, because the terracotta was all one piece in place. Those were the old buildings that she was showing.
Okay, so now this one. Now, if you go, part of Tartaria, they say it is that at some point the civilization got very, very advanced, and they had a huge electric grid. At some point, they think something happened where that went into a meltdown, and it melted. You'll see when I come up in a couple more shots where it melted buildings. And it melted that brick. And when you look at it, you could see what I'm talking about. But supposedly a mud flood came because of that fire. And when the mud flood came, it buried a lot of the buildings. Now you'll see like this one where the window is halfway in the ground. Now, why would you build a building where your window is halfway in the ground for a basement? You just didn't do that. It would make sense to me, but I'm not saying that. Loves is sitting here arguing in the chat and saying it's all made up shit. Well, that's why it's the wormhole, Loves.
Yeah, maybe they were looking for the wormhole. That's why That's why the window is
Yeah,
so
that's
low.
right.
They're looking for worms.
I think that other thing that you showed that looked like a chair. I was
Mhm.
trying to figure out how big of a toilet seat it needed. I just
Yeah. Well,
there
let
was
me
a
go
hole
here.
on it.
Oh, come on. Okay, now this is in the early early
Wow, look at that guy.
20s and stuff. And look
Yeah.
how big these people are. Now look at that book. Why would you need a book? Why would they need books that large? And these are actual pictures. Some of these are from the Smithsonian. Some of them are Getty images. So I didn't just pull up AI to
Was
blow
that
smoke.
Jack and the Beanstalk?
But
Yeah, I remember
they're
that one.
saying these people were that big. Well, look at the size of the doors.
Maybe
Look
that's
at the
why that story
Pantheon in
came out.
Rome.
Maybe
I
that
mean,
story was true. Jack and the Beanstalk. How big the guy
Yeah,
was.
maybe. Yeah, right.
well, look
Yeah.
at the trees. Look at Devil's Tower out in the southwest. So they say that's a plateau. No, it's not. If you look at it, you can see it's a tree. When you go on the top, you can see the concentrical rings on the top. You can see they did a heat study on Devil's Tower and found the whole root system of that tree going down underneath the ground. So people can say that this is all bullshit, but no, I think there's some truth to it because there's stories about it that go across the world. It's not just the United States or anything. Let me keep going here. Now, this is the interesting one. Remember how we talk about frequencies being
glass.
healing, like the med
Yeah.
beds and everything?
The
Okay, now
glass
when you
got lead in it. Stop. The glass.
no, I want to finish no, this is my wormhole. You just be
I
quiet.
know, but I'm just saying.
George,
Explain to them about the glass. That
pipe
had
down.
I'm going to tell them about the glass. I know. You just be quiet there for a second. So these run on you can tell about the lead after. The frequencies on this are match up with stars. And if you take sand and you put it on a speaker and you play music, the frequency on that speaker will make these patterns in the sand. You'll see it pop up every single time. The supposition is that these cathedrals, when they would show, like up at the top where you see that symbol, that was what would happen in that specific cathedral. So let's say this was a calming one. You would go in there, and because of the reverberation up through the cathedral ceiling and then back down and everything, the vibration and frequency would calm you down. Each one had a specific purpose, and that's part of Tartaria. Now go ahead and say what you want about the lead.
Don't matter now. It's
Okay.
your thing.
Don't matter now. He's got no respect.
I'm just reminding you about bringing up the glass. We had that discussion. I don't got to.
Yeah, well, the lead in there, there's a whole reason why you can't have lead.
This
paint
is
either.
deep for me though. I don't know. This
Yeah,
is,
that's it.
now I
No,
know.
it's called symbatics. No, Trixie, don't know everything. I only know some things, George. But
I mean those antennas type of thing on those buildings. I've seen them before. I've always thought, there's more to than just something there, right? With it. I mean, they've got to serve a purpose.
Mhm.
So, I don't know if they can really pull stuff out of the air, but maybe they do. I don't know.
I've seen it. I've seen them do it.
Put things out of their ass, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but this semantic stuff, this all ties into the med beds and everything because this is all frequency healing, and there's a whole science behind it.
My daughter went for one for her with her thing. She went to this thing, and they have these plants that they sit down and they have all these frequencies that regenerate your body and stuff. So, and you're correct about that, about the frequency.
Yeah, it is, and you can see it's on somatic frequencies, and you can look it up. There's peer-reviewed studies for it, but there is a way of doing that where they can heal you with that because it actually, the frequency goes in and the vibration from the frequency changes the DNA in your cell, and once that one cell's changed, it replicates in every other one. So there is truth to it. Anybody, you can argue with me all you want. I have my own feelings on this, but that's why it's a rabbit hole. Because some people don't know about it.
Nergy says the world before there's a book out
See?
called The World Before the Flood.
Here's more examples of all these. And they say they have therapeutic effects. And even the Indians do. There's a whole temple in India where each column plays a different frequency and vibration. And what they would do is they would go through that. They had a certain sequence that they would go and hit the poles. And the people that went in there actually got healed from different things. So there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it.
They hit those bells that they have. They're all different frequency.
Yep.
And
Go, George. Go ahead. I know you know what you're talking about.
I'm fine. I'm just adding to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. The bells. That's why they took them all out.
I think you're just out of your mind. I want everybody to know I'm out of my mind too. So.
Yeah, but you're right though that and the bells are all missing. They took all the bells out. You don't see them anymore. No more church bells and that kind of stuff.
Well, that's why the bells were put in the church originally too.
Okay, now this is I know. Yeah, it was frequency. It was to call you to church, but then to call you in for healing and everything too. That's why there's power in numbers, because you get in tune with the other people and you actually put off a frequency yourself. And once you do that, it's like the hive mind. Everybody together with one frequency like that, you can actually lift people up. Yeah, I just love this subject. But now this is where they talk about like the grid got on fire or had something happen. Look at all these buildings. Now you can see like some of these like are cliffs, but they aren't really. They're buildings that melted. The stone melted. It's they call it the Meltrix. That's a whole nother subject, but it ties right into
that's a whole nother wormhole.
Mm-hmm. But it was either a solar flare or it was something to do with electricity, and it came in so hot it actually melted stone. And that's why you see some of these things that they'll say, I can't remember what the word is, but they'll say, you're like when you look at a cloud and you see something in a cloud, people will say, you're just looking at that building and you're seeing what you want to see. But no, you're not. You can actually see part of the structure, and it makes sense like with Machu Picchu too, because that's so high up in the Andes. Why would somebody build that up there? Well, at that point it was accessible, and then something happened and all you're seeing is the top portion of whatever it was that had been there before. But Meltrix goes into how the stone melts and everything. It is really interesting if you're into that stuff.
Why is it Meltrix?
Yeah. Now see, this is one. Yeah, Meltrix. It's not mine, but yeah. See, yeah. I'm not going to argue with love. I'm not going to.
You made a great statement, and it's proven fact about music.
Yeah.
How when you let a child learn an instrument, especially a violin.
That's why I used
membranes are built. Are we going to do this?
Oh, go ahead.
The membranes that are built from the left side of the brain to the right side of the brain. That's why kids become so much smarter when they play an instrument, especially when they really get into it. And they say the violin is one of the strongest instruments to build.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, my nephew is a prodigy because of that. The kid's unbelievable what he does.
Yeah, I know about I played by ear the Suzuki method when I was a kid. You end up using the left and right side of your brain to play the violin. So what you're saying is correct. But like this building
How about
here,
the world's smallest violin? What do you use for that?
I don't know.
I used to play the piano by ear.
I thought you played.
All right, so get on to this building here. You have what's up with this building?
This is one of those buildings that they say was built, and it was not. It was dug up. You can see they're excavating the whole thing, and you can see street level is up above it. So there's no reason why they would build it in a sinkhole. I mean,
where is this at?
This is in India. There's a lot of it in India.
So there could have been a mudslide or something, maybe.
That's what the mud flood is. When the fire hit like that because of the heat and it made all the water in the atmosphere come down, flood everything, and then you got the mudslides off the mountains and everything. So I would think that's a logical thing with it, right? Like a mudslide. Okay, now see this here. I know it's really hard to see on the screen, but this is from 1871, and this is from in the Grand Canyon. That right there is a building like part of a building coming out of the stone in the Grand Canyon. And this is the part of the Grand Canyon that they closed off to all visitors. You cannot even go down there anymore. But the whole story about that was that during that time, somebody from from the Smithsonian was sent into the Grand Canyon. They went by canoe, kayak, whatever you want to call it, went through there and found all kinds of stuff. They found partial buildings in there. They found a big hole in one of the canyon walls way up. And when he went in there and said it was all Egyptian hieroglyphics, it was Egyptian artwork, it was gold, it was silver, it was a bunch of stuff like that. He took that back to the Smithsonian and they immediately closed this whole area off. And they said that's a lot of why the Grand Canyon is closed off. Now, if you get really into Tartaria, they say that the Grand Canyon area where all this was the original, like Rome area, was the original Rome, Egypt. That whole area was the United States. And there's another picture I'm going to get into here, and you can see what I'm talking about.
I didn't know part of the Grand Canyon's closed down.
Yeah. Okay, these are all the peaks in the Grand Canyon, and they've got them all labeled. So if you were to go and take like Egypt and put it up against a map of this part of the Grand Canyon, it all matches up. Like the Colorado River's running through here, through the center. Oh, I know I can't point with my finger, but they're like part of that is a pyramid. If you look right in the very center, it says, what is it? How do you say it? Cheops Pyramid. But all these places that are labeled on here match right up with Egypt.
Oh,
when you say match up with Egypt, you're talking the size of it or the
Sphinx, the pyramids and everything.
Okay.
If you pull that up and you put it up against a picture of what modern day Egypt is, it all lines up in the same spot. But this is supposedly one of the holes in the Grand Canyon, and you can see the red. You would get the red like that would come down if you were getting a lot of sulfur in the air. So that makes sense about if you had, a humongous fire that was like global, that you would get a sediment layer that like that. All right, so let's go here. So that would be a long time ago.
Grand Canyon, all the different layers of where the water receded and came up, where the water was at, and they have all the lines that the what do you call it? People were checking out and stuff. What's this?
This is where they're mentioned Tartaria up here at the very top of this. And this was written in 1580. And this is a real old book that even mentions it. But there's maps all over the place. You can find them. It's just crazy, some of this stuff.
Red Ginger said in chat, do you remember when they redated the Sphinx? I guess redated when it was made, I'm assuming?
Yeah, and because everybody that looks at it would, if anybody that has a half a brain, you look at it, you can see the water erosion around the base of the Sphinx. And I think it was Ancient Aliens even did a whole special on it the one time where the one guy came back and he said it dates back way older than what they say. And the lines on it would match with the tides coming in and coming out. And that place was all underwater at one point.
The geologists, when they grab any kind of stone, or even with the dinosaurs and everything, they predict of what it is at the time. Say it was 350 years BC or whatever it was, but and what happens is they look at it and then they'll look at another stone and find out that stone is older than the stone that they found before. Because if you remember when they started doing selling the program called the Rosetta Stone, because the Rosetta Stone was the hieroglyphics to be changed into language that we could read. And that's why everybody didn't know what the Rosetta Stone was, but it was the translator for the hieroglyphics of the Egyptians, of what they wrote in the walls. And there's a lot of stuff that's in there that transmit of what came here, because, the pyramids, how they were built, it's impossible the way they did that, because they had to have some big, strong people.
There were no cranes. There was no cranes or any of that kind of stuff back then. No forklifts.
You know how they did it? What the supposition is they used frequencies. because if you get to a certain frequency, things will lift. And so if they do it and they amplify it, they're able to move it.
They had giant people. Don't forget what, like,
Well, yeah, there's giant mounds all over the place in the United States.
David and Goliath. Look at the size of the Goliath, how big he was.
Yeah.
He was over 7 feet. He was 7'9" or something.
The Smithsonian has all them skeletons. When they were excavating the mounds in the United States, when they would find them, they would take them back to the Smithsonian and they're buried. But you can go back and Google it, and we're not making any of this stuff. This is all real. You know, there's the Serpent's Mound in Ohio. I know that I just found out there's mounds close to me because I'm close to the Trail of Tears. So, and there's some like in between here and Lafayette. And
that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they talk about.
Not you. I'm talking about R.D. Bull. What they put in there?
Huh?
R.D. Bull put something in the chat. I was looking at.
Oh no, I was not MK Ultra'd in the 90s. That's funny though.
But Mark said, if you really love Trixie's Wormhole, hit the like button. If you hate it and want her to stop, hit the like button. See, we win both ways. Good job, Mark.
Let me check.
Yeah.
Oh boy, a lot of people give thumbs up. Maybe they want you to stop.
No. I'll stop if somebody wants me to stop. But I think that the giant thing though, that there's giants all over the place, and that's it's a recessive gene now. That's why you only see them every once in a while. But it's a true thing. Why else would somebody be that tall? You know, just like the ones
remember
that I showed.
Remember the guy who played Jaws in James Bond, that real big guy with the metal teeth?
Yep.
He was huge.
What about what's his name? Lurch.
Andre the Giant. Remember Andre the Giant?
Yeah. What about Lurch?
My godfather's 6'7", you know.
Really?
And my son's 6'4". Yeah. So you know, I'm not going to argue with anybody about whether this is real or not. That's why it's the wormhole. But you know, you can believe what you want. You can.
Yeah, I mean, there's things that are said.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say a lot of it correlates to the timeline in the Bible. So I don't know what anybody's arguing about.
So here's something. Goliath.
Red Ginger said Baron Trump.
Yeah.
As a giant.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're Slavic, that's where a lot of the real tall is the Slavic, and that's the Eurasian, the Tartarian. That's that whole area of Ukraine, Russia.
David and Goliath. Goliath was 9 feet. 9 feet, 9 inches tall. That's how tall Goliath was.
Yeah. And the giant skeletons.
How tall?
9 feet, 9 inches. They said it was 6 cubits and a span, which comes out to 3 feet. There was 3 feet a cubit. It's 9 feet, 9 inches tall. However, some ancient texts suggest he was even bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, some people are getting all Twitter pated over here about what we're talking about, but I don't know what to tell you.
Well, it's like anything else. There's people that have put thought into it. There's people that haven't, right? There's people that have belief, and there's people that don't. I mean, it's just that, you know.
There's a lot of stuff in the Old Testament too. Angels with legs of fire.
I mean, there's people that don't believe the Bible's real. Right, so
sure.
I mean that's
because look how many books they took out of the Bible. Yeah, I know there's people think I lost my mind, but I'm going to tell you, I don't think so. I think there's too much. There's too much that ties together with a lot of things, and there's maybe it's unexplainable, but you know, like the frequencies. George even knows.
The question is, does it really matter now? You know what it is? The whole thing is, I wish somebody could come over here down here and take these people up in space, these rhinos that are destroying this effing country. That's what I say. Piece of shit that they are.
Or take them back to Tartania.
Oh yeah. You know, if you take the world map and you put it all together, it's like a puzzle. Mm-hmm. You know, Russia fits into the United States, and Europe comes right into the United States, the whole thing fits like a puzzle.
Yeah, when you were in elementary school, a kid could see that. I remember thinking that. But look at the moon too. If you look at the shadows on the moon, it's a reflection of the Earth.
So maybe Flat Earth Donnie has something there. Maybe the world was really flat, and that's why. And then once it went round, that's when everything broke up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
puzzle.
Well, what happened? It was flat. And then a woman took control and decided to make a design and create it to be round. Maybe.
There you go.
Okay. There's a whole lot of this stuff that it gets really deep, and I'm just like covering the very top of it. But I think the most important part of this was the somatics with the frequencies and the healing and everything, because you're going to be seeing that coming up a lot. They're doing peer-reviewed studies now at the NIH. You've seen it.
Yep.
Huh?
Trump's got a med bed.
Yeah, the med beds. That's all true stuff, and it works. I know that how it would work. I've read up about it and everything. So I'm not just talking out of my butt. There's other people in here that believe it.
24.
Yeah. Jersey has some interesting. Jersey has some interesting stories about MedBed. He knows a guy who kind of does that. And matter of fact, the guy met with Trump in the White House in Trump's first term.
Mm-hmm.
He is right.
Yeah, well, it works. They can even use light to remove tumors. I mean, what do you think? Like the laser.
Yeah,
but now they've got now they have other lights where they can actually go in and do a flash, and it can change the DNA in that cell so that it replicates correctly after that. And another thing that they found out too is when the sperm hits the egg during fertilization, there's a white flash of light at that point too, and they've got it videoed. So if that light when that happens, it depends on what your viewpoint would be. It would be either that is the beginning of life, and that light is what sparks, the energy into that to become a human or a life or whatever, or be alive. Or you could say it's the insertion of the soul or the consciousness inside of that.
What about the spark coming from God? How about that one?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, God has a lot of power over a lot of people to give them the mentality to do all the stuff. Don't forget. And that's what the control was right from the beginning. I mean, even in the Old Testament, there was parts in the Old Testament that they could prove that it was spaceships landing when they saw the angels came down with legs of fire, and they could.
Ezekiel.
Yeah, Ezekiel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And who got taken up in? Was it Ezekiel? Ezekiel was the one.
Ezekiel got taken up. Yeah.
Taken up. So you think I don't know nothing? See,
I know you know. We talk about this stuff outside of the show.
That's what the nuns used to whack you all the time with the roller. That's the reason why you remember that, George.
Oh yeah.
Oh, gosh, more sirens.
Oh yeah. When I used to get hit in the ears, boy, did I feel frequency? Let me tell you.
Yeah, you know that's how you know your frequencies.
Yeah. That's right.
And not only did you feel frequency, but it happened very frequent.
Yep, it did.
Yeah, but that light makes sense though. If energy, put it this way, so energy can never be destroyed. Energy can only be manipulated or changed form. So if your soul or your consciousness is that form of energy, that would be why they would say, we're all one. Well, yeah, we're all one because we're basically a piece of that same energy. So you can call it whatever you want, but because energy doesn't ever disappear.
Who believed that in the beginning? Benjamin Franklin believed that.
Yeah. And then you get into quantum string theory. Now, we talked about this one too, George. So two atoms. Let's say you have two atoms.
In the middle for all the time. Listen, I don't want people to think I'm crazy like you are.
Two atoms.
George talked about this.
2 atoms.
I just talked to you and agree with you.
2 atoms. So you have 2 atoms. You know what I'm talking about? Like protons.
Oh, now you're talking about gay stuff. 2 atoms. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I
She's
thought.
talking about gay. 2 atoms.
No. So you have 2 atoms, and in quantum string theory,
I thought it was Adam and Eve. What happened? Adam and Eve.
You guys are terrible.
Now it's 2 atoms.
You're kidding. You get me all off track. I'm getting discombobulated now. So if okay, let's say the universe was all made in the Big Bang. Okay, so everything that's there. Come on, this is interesting. So everything that's there is there. Those atoms are all around each other. All right. So let's say these 2 atoms were right next to each other when the Big Bang happened. No matter where those 2 atoms go in the universe, they always correlate back to each other. If one moves, the other one moves. And it's proven that this has happened. And so it's called quantum string theory. So everything that was there stays connected through the ether, throughout the universe and everything. So when you hear people talking about like they think they were reincarnated and stuff like that. Sometimes, we're never going to know until we die. But what you could be picking up on is somebody that was near you when the Big Bang and that atom went into that body, and you're picking up actual thoughts from that person. And that's where it gets really deep. But some of the stuff has been proven that it's true, like quantum string theory. That it's not a theory. It's a proven thing. But
my theory was Adam was created, and then Eve came into the picture. And if she didn't bite the apple, we wouldn't be in this mess in the first place. So to put it that way. So, and that's why I agree with you all the time, because I want to start a problem. When you talk to me all about this stuff that I know,
and you keep the apples, apples locked up.
I got a dozen apples in the kitchen right now.
You're gonna make everybody think I'm nuts.
No, you're not nuts. It's fact. It's stuff what you're talking about.
That's why it's a wormhole. That's why it's a wormhole. We could have did Twilight or something like that. But
the Big Bang happened billions of years ago, and God created the Big Bang. He said, "Oh, let me try the first firework that they ever been invented." So he tried the Big Bang. Then Earth came. Then they had dinosaurs on the ground, and you have cavemen.
You know why they had dinosaurs and big trees?
Well, let me finish. Now you made me
I'm helping you here. You want to know why? Because the oxygen saturation at that time was so much more. It was almost all pure oxygen, so everything grew bigger.
Correct. But the dinosaurs, and then a lot of people think the fossil fuel is from the dinosaurs, which is not.
Hear the music?
Yeah.
It's the Twilight Zone.
That's true.
I thought that was funny. I was searching for a Twilight Zone song.
We heard
Feverishly searching.
She's hurt. Her feelings are hurt. Trixie's feelings are hurt. I can tell by her face.
No, I'm not. My feelings
believe you.
I'm thinking it's funny.
It was a great investigation.
Oh, there we go. Red Ginger had a good question. What if the Big Bang was when the flat Earth curved? How about that?
But then,
maybe
where did the water come from?
I was going to say something. The first time
Flat
I
Earth
had
Donnie.
the Big Bang.
When Flat Earth Donnie was crying because the Earth was round, that's where the water came from.
Yeah, he gets so much shit on Schwartz's show for being. He didn't shut up the other day about that. I mean, he just kept going on and on and on. But it's like, yeah. See, I don't know. I'm going to do something different next Wednesday. That maybe won't be so controversial, but if you really want to get into that, look into the somatics. That's really interesting. Yeah, the giants are nothing.
Well, Lucifer, what's it? Look, Grace is in here. Hey, Lucifer got pissed off. He thought he was as good as God. So God said, "Yo, get out of here. It's like the neighborhood. You ain't happening here. There's only one Godfather, and that was him."
Well, just like Sodom and Gomorrah. They turned into a pillar of salt. Well, it really wasn't salt, but to them, that's what it looked like because they didn't have it. But it was really carbonate.
Salt was a big commodity. That's how they kept the meat fresh when they killed everything.
Well, now you want to get into a really
salt was more money than gold. Believe it or not.
You know what pink Himalayan salt is? This one is kind of weird.
I got one in the room.
Supposedly, all the giants were petrified on Earth. And if you can see some of the cliffs and stuff, it looks like an alligator or looks like this. Supposedly, the pink Himalayan salt where they have that is where giants have petrified and turned into basalt and carbonite. And that's where the pink salt is coming from. If you take a big chunk of pink Himalayan salt and you put it next to a piece of meat, they look exactly alike. And that's what they're saying is it's petrified giants because they turned to carbonite and salt. I don't know about that, but that's just something I read. But I like the rabbit hole stuff. I read a lot of that stuff. Yeah, you might be eating basalt, Red. I don't know, but I don't know. They're they're bringing up Antarctica. Yeah, Antarctica. They got that totally closed off. You can't go there. That's a whole nother rabbit hole there, and that ties right in with Greenland, with the underground bases and stuff like that.
Well, there's tunnels. Yeah, there's tunnels there. You don't believe in UFOs? You don't believe flying? What do you call it? They come around.
I think, yeah. String theory proves multiple dimensions.
A reptile. Look at it. Pelosi's a reptile. All these people. That
She's a lizard, yeah.
Look at all these. Look all the hatred that the Democrats have. Tell me they're not possessed. I don't give a shit what anybody says. You can't have that. I mean, I know where I'm going. I'm going to hell because I have a lot of hatred. I hate. I would, if I destroy everybody, then I'll be fine. And then the ones that start with the letter M or I, MI, would be my first priority. That's it. Because it's right. MI, Muslims or Islam?
Oh, I thought it was the one word MI, and I was like, what?
M-O-I. M-O-I.
Yeah. But you're not going to be here tomorrow, are you, John?
Sean.
Hello.
He's frozen.
You know what? I got to. I'm going to switch my thing here because it's. I'm going to go to my phone here. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Augie's putting his 2 cents in. Well, I don't know, but like the Dems, why they hate the right so much is because I think we have more of the light of God in us.
Well, what does it say in the Bible about the left and the right? There's a quote in there. Love Christ. Look it up. You know, come on.
I know what you're talking about. I know that quote.
What's the quote?
What is the quote?
It's about the people you lean. If you're righteous, you're to the right, and if you're not, you're to the left. I don't know the exact quote, but I know that's in there.
So even back then, politics was important.
That's right.
Separating the wheat from the chaff. You know, that's what they were doing at that point. Somebody brought up too, is 666 a frequency? I don't know. Could very well be. I mean, if you believe in different dimensions, that could be the frequency of that dimension where all the evil resides. I really don't know. It's just interesting stuff when you start getting into it. And it's worthy to, I think, to talk about because it expands your mind a little bit. You can't believe in everything that the powers that be just show you because they've got an agenda and a lot of bias too. So it's interesting. So I hope you thought it was interesting. Now I'm done talking.
Well, it was good. Like I said, people either can, believe it, not believe it, whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's the first time I actually heard it. So, for me, it's always interesting hearing something different, right? That you're not used to anyway. So it's
it's in Proverbs 4:27. Advice not to swear to the right or to the left, turning away from evil with Matthew 25:33 mentions separate the sheep to the right and the goats to the left. The goats to the left. You know what that means?
Yeah.
That proves it right here in the Bible.
Yeah.
Sheep are to the right and the goats are to the left, indicating judgment.
Yeah. There's a lot you can get. There's so much that you can get into in different sections of that, though. It's like the orphan trains and all that kind of shit, too. I mean, it all ties into the mud flood and hiding history. And it's just like, what's the days that you see on the buildings, too, where it'll say like 960 or whatever. People have been caught. Now because of being able the World Wide Web, people have had old pictures where it'll show that building was actually says 960, and then some years later another picture is taken and there's a 1 in front of the 960. It's like I don't know if they're wiping out history or they're messing with the timelines, but we know they do that because they did it with the with the Julian calendar. They changed the dates and everything like that too. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities that something like that could happen.
What God is on the right hand of the Father. Jesus sits on the right hand of the Father. It's the right of God. Everything defines about what the rightness is. So
and righteousness.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what?
He took the rib from Adam on the right side. He didn't take it from the left side.
Yeah.
That's why I used to be I'm ambidextrous. So I favored my left, and the nuns tied my hand down, so I learned how to write with my right hand because it was a sign of the devil.
I wish it was Friday because I got something funny to say about that.
But I hit
it was Friday
because I hit harder with my left than I do with the right.
Do you?
It's 10 o'clock.
Oh boy.
You know what time it is? It's time to tell Trixie she's out of her mind and we ain't talking about it no more.
Nah, I'm gonna do a little rabbit hole every Wednesday like that. We'll do something different. So if you didn't like this one this week, I'll have something different for next week. But if
That's
we
right,
get,
but guys. Also, the devil could also preach the Bible. Did you know that?
Mhm.
That's right.
You want me to tell you about another joke about that?
Another one.
This guy is sitting in church, and all of a sudden the devil appears and breaks the building down and everything. And this guy's still sitting in the church and not moving. And the devil starts throwing lightning and rain, and the guy's still sitting in that church and not moving. So the devil turns around to the guy. He says, "You're not afraid of me? I am Satan." And he goes, "No." And the devil said, "Why?" He says, "Because I'm married to your sister."
And that's certain.
That would be my
That's for certain.
brother-in-law. That would be my
Yeah.
brother-in-law married to my sister.
Well, anyway,
So you're not going to be here tomorrow, right, Sean? Maybe between 8:30 and 9.
Yeah, maybe between 39, but I got a work meeting at 9.
Monday.
Okay, and then
I'll
we'll be
back
here
Friday,
tomorrow.
Friday.
Monday.
Yeah. But we'll be here tomorrow, and then there's Frisky Friday. Go check out my store.
in the yellow submarine.
So play the Twilight Zone on the way out.
Yeah, play the Twilight Zone on the way out.
I don't have the Twilight Zone. I wish I did. I did.
got
Maybe I will for next.
Oh, you
Wednesday.
play it, Sean.
That's not
There you go. All right. Well, it was a good time, everybody. Sorry I was in and out.
And the satellite of my love.
All right. Bye. See you guys tomorrow.
All right.